Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we can discuss Queen of the Ring. So I want to say up front, I did get sent a copy of this movie for review, but it does not affect my review in any way. So Queen of the Ring is the story of Mildred Burke, who when we first see her, she's going to her first ever wrestling match. She sees the action in the ring and is like immediately overtaken by it. Later on, when she's working as a waitress, she actually ends up getting assigned to the table of Billy Wolf, who was one of the wrestlers that she saw in the ring. She immediately wants to get into the business. He's really skeptical of it. It's illegal for women to wrestle in a lot of places in the country, and he doesn't think they can draw money. But she eventually wears him down, both as far as her intentions in the ring and with her feminine wiles. And he takes her on the road. She starts wrestling at the carnivals, doing crowd challenges. But they always have the idea of getting bigger, and she wants to prove that she can wrestle, start to wrestle other women and draw attention, draw money, headline cards, sell out arenas. And that's kind of the story here of Queen of the Ring. So I want to say up front, I'm a huge wrestling fan. So I definitely probably was intoxicated by the wrestling elements and maybe, didn't pick up on some of the lesser parts of the movie, but I thought this was a good movie. I do think that they lean into there's a lot of references for modern wrestling fans that maybe seem a little bit out of place here. And there's some conversations that are shoehorned in to get certain references in for more modern wrestling fans, which I didn't mind, but it does kind of take you out of the historical part of it. And I don't know overall how accurate historically the movie is, but I feel like it's decently accurate based on having read the book and then having heard shoot interviews and Jim Cornette podcasts. Speaking of Jim Cornette, he's in this as the NWA commissioner. He does an okay job. He's fine. He doesn't really get pushed to do much, but it's just fun to see him. But seeing all these characters come to life that I've heard from Cornette's podcast and shoot interviews and books, it is kind of like seeing history come alive. And so I was kind of just enjoying that aspect of the movie a lot. But again, they do make a lot of modern wrestling references. A lot of stuff that happens in the ring probably wasn't representative of the style of the time. It's a little more probably updated and showy than it was at that time. But I love the aesthetic of this movie, the visuals, the production design elements, the costumes, the locations. I just feel like it's such a cool vibe. I loved seeing the footage of the old carnival wrestling days. I just thought that was so awesome to see. And so as far as that historical part of it, I thought they did about as good a job as you could do on what was probably a lower budget movie to make everything look historically accurate. And even if it wasn't always completely accurate, I feel like they got the vibe right, which is the most important part. But I thought the cast was good here. I thought overall the story was good. I love the wrestling elements of it and seeing all these characters. And whoever played Mae Young, wow, man, what a beauty. I mean, amazing stuff. But anyway, Queen of the Ring, good movie, great cast. The Mae Young actress, wow. Seeing all the wrestling stuff here was just so cool. Seeing Jim Cornette in a movie was cool. But I had a great time with King of the Ring. I understand if you have issues with historical accuracy or them kind of shoehorning some modern references into it, especially the one speech that's kind of, I'll let you see it. But anyway, overall, I think Queen of the Ring was a really fun movie, and I give it a thumbs up. If you're a wrestling fan or history fan, even if you're just a fan of the carnival, I'm a big fan of old school carnival days, and this has some really cool looking footage from, it's replicating that era. But anyway, that's my review for Queen of the Ring. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon.